I really don't feel good right now.
You're getting a
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
Yeah. Movie night. Ghost-Mortem go movies. Much better. I've traded up to a much sexier bandage now. You see, it's like a stocking. How kinky is that? Yeah. This episode should be called Ghost-Mortem Went Movie because we literally over the last weekend, a whole bunch of us went for a 2-film marathon on Saturday and then another one yesterday. And Eugene had like a marathon on his own to catch up. Yeah, but we were just remarking that this is this might be the first GM Squared where Eugene and I have all watched all the movies, right? Usually either. Oh, why can't they hear your voice? Oh no. Okay, wait. Thank you, Susanna, for pointing that out. KK. That's strange.
Okay, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Check.
Let us know once you can hear Eugene. Anyone can hear him?
Cannot hear Eugene muted. Eugene.
That's very strange. Okay, usually I'm the one who is the dropping out voice.
Okay, you guys can hear me now? Still
Can you
不
hear
可
him
以
now?
的。
Still 不可以? Oh no. Hi, Gene. Hi, Gene. Hold on. We're just sorting this out. Okay, Susanna says can hear you now.
Okay,
All right.
all good.
Okay. Good.
Let me take that again.
Processing. Okay, from the
Welcome
top,
to Tuesday night. Today is the 19th of July. Welcome to Ghost-Mortem with us, your Beanie Buddies, as your host. My name is Eugene Tay.
And I'm Nutrisoy Jonathan Lim.
And Jonathan
Slip that in there.
came bandaged last week, like the warrior that he is. And how are you feeling today, buddy?
A little bit better. Feeling all snug in my kinky stocking bandage. I didn't even know that such things existed. That's quite cool. So I'm going to get a roll of it and just like wrap myself up in a stocking and terrorize people. You know, I think pochongs need this. Okay, you can be an instant pochong with this.
Easy to put it, take out lah.
Yeah, it's like a whole woolen condom that you can put on and then go hopping around. So that's my Halloween taken care of. No need to plan costume. Hi everyone. We went for a major marathon. A big shout out to the ones who went with us. I don't know if you guys are there. I hope you are because we want you to chat with us today. Kathy, Lynn, who else was with us?
Shimin,
Nirev.
yep.
Yeah, So if you guys are there, either on Facebook or YouTube, please be very active. Share with us your opinions. Okay, and help us decide whether the films are good or bad, okay? Because Eugene and I disagree on some of them. That's exciting.
Yeah, we don't always see eye to eye, and I think that's the beauty about movies, right? You have your you have your fans, and it's always quite subjective. But on Ghost-Mortem, this is where we will try to convince you guys, the audience, to join our side.
And then we all together try to convince Eugene that he's wrong.
Every single season. Yeah.
Okay, let's say some hellos. Okay. Let me see. On Facebook, KK is here. ZP Matt is here. Sonia is here. Where are you, Sonia? Let us know.
Carol Smith as well.
Carol Smith. Susanna Wahid. Okay. Thank you, Susanna, for pointing out the sound issues. Jean, my friend, is here. Who else is here? Ivan, of course, is drifting behind everyone. That's wonderful. Hi, Ivan. Who was first? Ivan was first, but that's cheating.
Yeah. Guys, if you must know, Ivan Go, he is right now snooping behind the screen
he's
because
among
he's
us.
training to be the next smooth operator.
Right now, still a rough operator. Slowly smoothening as we go.
Yeah,
I
can see Ivan laughing behind.
Thanks, Sonia. Thanks for the wish. I am much better. Hello, Vicky Chan has just joined us. Carol Smith has just joined us. Anyone overseas? Anyone out of Singapore, please let us know where you are as well.
Where in the world is Sonia Kurana? Okay.
Are you in Africa right now, Sonia? Or something like that?
Yeah, she is.
So exciting.
Yeah, always flying around. YouTube side, we have
who's there?
Aber, who's first.
Aber.
Aber was first for like 4 weeks in a row. Then she just, she let other people have a chance. Han J second. Zombrix 99 is third. But
nice.
I've not heard of Zombrix before. So I asked Zombrix, are you new? And he did not reply me yet. Then we have Melkor, who went...
Melkor.
Ho ho sing easy say uma.
Don't say, Scully.
Yeah.
The curse will come upon us.
So doomers all of you Aber saying Eugene is muted. Yes, not always that Eugene is quiet, you know. Young Oliver, he was in Bangkok last week. I think he's back already. Ew says hi, good evening. Is that pronounced as EU or EW? We have Paris Maiteria Lim. Aloha, everyone. Aloha.
Hello, Paris.
Chua Elaine. Chua Elaine is looking all chirpy now. Last couple of weeks, she was quite down. Then she's back. Then she was sick also. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Mark Shipo.
Hello, Mark.
Hardcore. The guy is always in our WhatsApp group. He's joined us on movie outings as well. Mark Shipo. I mean, last time he came with a nice denim ass jacket. Oh, looking real cool. Jim Chong, hi. Okay, everyone, you so got exciting. Your drinks ready. You got your. Okay, so I'm assuming.
What's your drink?
I drink water.
Yeah, che again.
I've been trying to lose weight, John. So all the boozing, I try to cut down as much as I can.
At least get a branded water that you can lure a sponsor with, right? At least Perrier.
Now it's unbranded. So if you're a sponsor, this space is available for you.
I see. Cindy Chiam has just joined us with a big heart. Cindy! Thank you. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Cindy Chiam. Big heart back. Big heart.
So the people who are here tonight, I assume, other than because you like how we look, we think that you have either watched the movie and you want to agree or disagree with us, or you have not watched this movie and you're tuning in to Ghost-Mortem just so you know whether you should spend your $10 or you should spend your 90 minutes in this watching the movie, right? Okay, so we have 4 movies for you today. We have one Hollywood movie, one Indonesian movie, one Malaysia movie, and Taiwanese,
and one Taiwanese Netflix special. Netflix. Yeah.
Very nice variety today.
And again, the pattern for season 4 has been mostly Asian, which is great, right? Because this was not the case where we started in season 1 and 2, remember? Where we had a hard time finding Asian films. So clearly something has changed, right? Yeah. Asia is rising. Yeah.
So last GM, we told you that there was one particular movie that Eugene Tay totally hates, and that's like the benchmark for bad movies. Let's see if this time around, is there any other movie that has beaten that previous movie for the lowest ranking movie? We'll stay tuned to find out. Yeah.
Okay, we've got some people who have watched though, which is quite good. Thanks for letting us know. Cindy has watched Ivanna. KK has watched 2 of the 4. Likely the more accessible. More accessible ones. Okay, let us know. Give us a shout out if you watched any of them, so that we know who to refer to, who are our experts out there.
Cindy Sham watched Ivanna.
Yeah, well done, Cindy. Let us know if you liked it as well when we talk about it. Okay. But if you haven't watched any of the films, don't worry, because we will be showing you a trailer, right? The official trailer for each film. And then you can judge a book by its cover and shamelessly talk about it based on the trailer. And also, we have a spoiler system, right? Eugene has a spoiler sign, which he will hold up. Yes, handwritten, okay? Or I will hold up my Nutrisoy, okay? And this means we're going to talk about something that might affect your watching of the film. So you might want to either... I don't know, pause, mute, go get a drink and come back until the sign comes out. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, just in case. Oh, hello, Surfan.
Surfan is from, he's into theatre as well. I think you might know him, John.
Hi, Surfan. K-Night. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, we have Paris, who watched Black Telephone.
Nice. Black Phone.
Yeah.
Black Phone.
And Chen Han Tae says, not Chen Han Wei, it's Chen Han Tae.
Chen Han Tae?
How has John not aged since the 90s? I tell you.
Not aged since
virgin blood.
Of course.
or Nutrisoy?
I've not aged, but something else has happened over the past 2 weeks.
Balding at a chin.
Look. Let's compare, Eugene. Let's compare.
2 weeks. This is 2 weeks.
What? 2 weeks only, okay? Voila, okay. Never mind. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Shall we watch the very first trailer for tonight?
Okay, so we're cheating a little bit. Okay, I think some of you might be able to sense the system of how we arrange our GM Squared movies. Okay, if you can't, I invite you to speculate now. Okay, so our first film is from our nearest neighbor. This is a Malaysian film, and it's been a while since we had a Malaysian film to review, so it was quite exciting to go and watch. This one we watched separately. Eugene just watched it today. Was it today?
Fresh. 6:20 p.m. show over at Downtown East. Can rush back to set all this
Wow.
fresh
So
in my
Eugene
mind
is
right now.
fresh from this experience, okay? The rest of us watched it on Saturday, right? The title is actually quite long, all right? Musyrik Api Meraka Penantimu, right? Or the shorter version is just Musyrik, right? From Malaysia, directed by Arjun Upal.
All right.
Check out the trailer.
Sejak saya datang sini, macam-macam gangguan berlaku kat rumah ni. Mungkin pula Asyik cakap seorang-seorang.
Dia ada beritahu dia cakap dengan siapa? Yang perlu ditanya, kenapa Allah izinkan gangguan jin dan iblis ini masuk ke dalam hati?
Siapa? Ingat Tuhan, ya Allah! Abang nak buat ni?
Ingat apa kau cakap?
Abang terlalu penting ke hari ni sangat soleh, abang tak? Abang, kenapa dengan abang ni?
ولا يصدنك عن آيات الله بعد إذ أنزلت إليك وادع إلى ربك ولا تكونن من المشركين.
Benda itu takkan mengalah. Dia akan datang lagi. Kau dilaksan Allah. Azhar faman tabi'aka minhum. Kau tak apa-apa Jazaukum jaza'an mawfura.
Mana apa yang Putri? Tolonglah kakak dia. Tolonglah kakak dia.
Tekankan partai. Mujizat Quran kau hafal dia besar. Bawa tentara iblis.
The trailer.
Okay, I have not watched the trailer prior to loading this up, and I just went into the movie blind, right? And based on the trailer,
Would you rather watch the trailer or the movie?
Then we've been revealing the answer too soon already. But it's a very epic trailer, and based on the trailer alone, I would have been very excited to rush down to watch this. Yeah.
Sonia is also saying, wow, the trailer, right? KK says they already put the best scenes in the trailer. Carol, hello Carol. Carol Smith says, very munafik. Exactly, right? So, I mean, munafik is, I guess, for many of us, the high point, right, of Malaysian horror in the past decade, right? So everyone's hoping for another munafik, right? So that's why we went. We were so excited.
Yeah.
Very likely about Jin, KK says.
Yeah lah, you see got Ustad already, it's confirmed Jin, right? okay. Ibis.
Ibis.
Yeah, got a few.
Okay, so wow, where to begin?
Wow,
I must say, okay, watching the trailer again just helped me confirm a theory. Okay, so I offer this theory to everyone, and let's verify it over the next few seasons or whatever.
Okay.
Every time you see a horror trailer where the editing is very, very tight,
Yeah.
in other words, every shot that they show you is
Yeah.
just a second or 2 seconds at the most.
Yeah.
It's very exciting, but it means you cannot show us any more, or else we will start to see the flaws. Whereas a good, confident film will show you longer scenes in the trailer. Because they can sustain 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And the best trailers are the ones that literally show you an entire scene. That's how sure they are. That I just need to show you one good moment and you will come to my film. You know? But if I have to show you like 35 good moments, then those moments are very brief.
Yeah.
You know? So that's my theory. Let's see if it's true.
I think you might be on the nose for this one. I think even Oliver Young is asking on YouTube, is this the trailer that best scenes wore? I would say yes, because I'm very fresh. I just walked out of the cinema barely 2 hours ago. That is the best bits of the entire movie.
And the question then I asked Eugene is, do the bits just before and just after these moments live up to it?
There were great parts about the movie that I liked independently. Like individually, there were scenes, standalone scenes I enjoyed. The lore I enjoyed, because usually when we watch Hollywood is the priest, right? It's always the priest. Like the last GM we talk about Exorcism of the God. In American culture, it's always the priest coming in as the hero,
trope.
right? The trope. This one you have the Ustad, which is a very Asian trope. The guy who's going to fight the jinns, right? Cast the jinns out of you. And the opening segment of the show, the first 5 seconds, he's really casting jinns out. And you'll notice as well in this particular show, everyone's like a model. Very good looking. Even when they're possessed, they're also very good looking, you know?
That's why I thought, I thought as I started watching it that that it was an Indonesian film, because it has exactly that kind of everyone's a model kind of casting.
Model, yeah.
Yeah, you know?
And I find that Ustad, right, like he has this whole superhero complex. The whole, when there's a sound, he doesn't go like, he goes, you know, the camera pans.
I think he studied at the Keanu Reeves School of Acting, so you know it's all about the angle of your jaw. You know, he was very good at posing for the camera.
Yeah.
Definitely very impressive. Not so good at saving people's souls, but very good for the camera.
Talking about Constantine, isn't it?
Yeah, so we were comparing him to Constantine, right?
Yeah.
Then that's, you know, in the Keanu Reeves reference for all of you, right? He's that particular kind, okay, who cares more for how he looks than who goes to hell. Ivan. Wait, I like my theory. Ivan is agreeing that how a Marvel film can manage to show an entire scene. Very brave. Yeah. You know, Gene is talking about the scene that hooks you in. That's exactly the thing, right? One good scene can encapsulate everything about the film.
Yeah.
You know, if you have such a good scene, right? That's the question.
You know, your movie is so good, you don't need the trailer to sell the movie. You just need a hook.
Yeah, you know, and you know that your good moments are not 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
There are minutes and minutes of it, you know. So, for example, I don't know whether this counts as jumping into the review already, but I just wanted to mention it before it leaves my head. Right? There was one particular frame, like literally 1 second in that trailer, right, which was beautifully shot. Right, it was a woman praying. She was in a glow of warm light, right, and then everything around her was blue, and then you could see a hospital bed on the other side of the frame.
There?
Yeah, so it was the scene in the hospital, basically. It's gonna take you a long time. It's gonna take you a long time to find it, but it was a scene in the hospital. Which was one of the most beautifully framed and sort of designed shots. Okay, actually, yeah, I think it would be very nice to look at it. It's such a gorgeous shot. Looking, all right, because it first of all, it harks back to our season one trope.
Check out the effects. Look at the effects.
It harks back to our season one trope about the colors, right? The warm orange and the cold blue that are the two colors of horror. God, I saw. Don't tell me I was dreaming. No, it was that fast. It was just literally a frame.
Okay. You go talk. I'll just
anyway, yeah. So that was a beautiful scene. It was one of the most gorgeous shots in the entire film, but also probably one of the most pointless scenes in the entire film, because the sister was in there. She was the one praying, right? Praying for the child who was lying in the bed.
Yeah.
And they kept cutting back to that hospital room. Right, if you remember, Eugene.
Yep. Is that the one? Jess,
where? I can't see. No. No, we haven't found it yet.
He was in the hospital.
She's on the floor on the right side of the screen, and then on the left was the. Oh no, the bed is on the right, and she's on the left.
This one, you know.
No,
one?
no. No, 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 no.
Okay.
Is after this, shortly after this, shortly after this, shortly after this, shortly after this. This is quite interesting. We are hunting for it. We're hunting for it.
It better be worth it. No, this
It
one.
better be worth it. It was a beautiful, beautiful shot. Truly beautiful
one.
shot. There you go. There. Right? So wonderful because you're using the depth, right? You've got her in the background. You've got these two pools of light. So, and if you know that the sick child is in the bed in front, then your focus is divided between the two, and you're so anxious to see what's going to happen and where it's going to happen. You know, is the child going to start jumping or floating on the bed? You know, is something going to go and disturb the sister? And in fact, nothing happens for the entire scene. We are in that room for 10 minutes.
I'm going to spoiler this, yeah?
Okay, yeah, and they keep cutting back to that room. Okay, this is a parallel shot, parallel scene with something else happening, and they keep cutting back to this room, and nothing happens.
Yeah. And also the other thing, why this is a spoiler sign is, you would imagine that the girl, the patient on the bed, is a bit inflicted by something paranormal.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's why you show that he's fighting the demon, and then by defeating the demon, the girl will be better. But if you realize she was in hospital because she took peanut and she had allergy. What the hell?
And no EpiPen.
Yeah, so I mean, there were parts in the movie. If you start to be an experienced moviegoer, you start to question the plot holes. Like, wait a minute, didn't that just happen like a scene before? How come now the scene changed and then she like totally forgot what has happened? Like the character has amnesia. And that part was very jarring in this, and I think that really broke the movie because it removes the level of fear, the level of realism when the actors themselves in the movie don't remember the horror. And I think we talked about this many times before.
So I guess what this film became for me, thinking back on it, right? It's really about experience, right? So clearly, the filmmakers and the team, the whole team of them, are experienced in watching horror. Okay, so they know how to recreate a very elegant horror scene like this. Yeah. And that's how you also get a very good trailer, because you also know, instinctively, what are the bits that sell a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, where they don't have experience is in actually making the movie good for 80 plus to 90 minutes, right? Which I must say is very difficult, right? And so knowing what's good is not the same as making something good. Okay, and clearly, they were not able to give the beautiful scenes meaning, and they had so many characters in the film with all very interesting possibilities, and they didn't know how to write the best sort of combination for these characters. So here you are, the child who is the focus of practically every possession in the world is now just lying in bed and feeling slightly ill, and is really irrelevant to the rest of the film.
I also found that the script or the lack of script in this show was very telling. I think they were concerned about the imagery, right? The very cool effects, and clearly the actors do not have a lot of lines to work on, and they end up just calling each other's name. I think if you guys are going to watch this show, it's an okay show, not a great show, but an entertaining show enough for you guys to spend your weekday movie money to go and watch. But I do suggest
with your grandma, bring your grandma.
Bring your grandma, yeah. But I expect you to drink with somebody, because here's the challenge, right? Every time a name is called, you take a shot of whatever alcohol that you're drinking. Because I guarantee you by the end that you walk out of the cinema, you'll be drunk shitless. Because the whole time, I was very annoyed when they could say so many things, they could react so many ways. Obviously, the characters on the ground, they go, Yazid! And then Yazid looks up and go, Ustad! Yazid! Ustad! I'm like, they don't have lines, you all forgot lines, is it?
I mean, you can imagine, right? The poor actor, is caught up in the moment, is trying to contribute, right? Trying to express their feelings. And then, the script gave them, one line in the whole scene. So all you can do is just shout names. Otherwise you'll be silent, right? So that I suspect the script was a little bit sparse. It said the very important things that they wanted to say, and then after that left nothing else for the expression of fear and suspense.
Don't even give me started on expression of fear. Okay, so a few weeks ago, we shared a short film about how a lady acted
Pieces of Me.
pieces
yeah.
of me, right? Like what we
Yeah.
showed. What's a good example of fear and what's a bad example of fear? Watching Musyrik will give you a very bad example of fear. Okay, it's like you see ghosts and then you go, ah, then you run away. Then you close the door. You go, like, do you not just see what happened outside? Like, there's no continuation of fear. Then there was one more part where Yazid was standing there. Do you know Yazid, what the hell he was doing there? Because I was confused. Like, there was the Ustad, there was the girl, then there's this muscle-looking guy standing there. While everything horrific was happening around. The grandfather clock was flying, and then he goes. I was like, where did I put my watch? Where's my key? I think I left my key somewhere. So, I'm not sold. If you're not fearful in the show, I'm not fearful as an audience.
Okay. Spoiler sign up. We have a little, those of us who watched Musyrik on Saturday, we have a little pet theory, okay? And anyone who goes to watch it after this, please look out for this and tell us if our theory might be right. Eugene has not heard this theory. Now I'm going to test it on Eugene. So the muscle dude that you mentioned,
Yazid.
you know who is Yazid, okay? I wonder how you can remember his name. Okay.
Because they called the name so many times.
So Yazid, right, who is introduced into the story as a casual side plot, right? His mother is being possessed, and the Ustad helps the family. And then for no particular reason, subsequently, after the mother dies, the son decides to just hang out with the handsome Ustad for the rest of the film. He's always in the car with him. Middle of the night, you call him to come to your house, and this Yazid is with him in the car. So either number one, they are implying something which they cannot openly say.
They are very
right? That Ustad is no longer so lonely. Or number two, or maybe both are true. That's the reason why Yazid's in the film, because he is somebody's special friend. Right, that's our theory. Okay, watch the film and decide why Yazid is in this film at all.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
And if he becomes more important than the daughter, you realize.
Yeah.
Suddenly, he's more important than the daughter. Him falling down is much more important.
You could tell there was some concerns. And the way when they call each other's name out, Yazid, Ustad. There was some. Brotherly affection in that, like maybe a bit
much more than he showed for anyone else, I must say.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So
like girl about to die. Oh my God, Yazid just got thrown out of the window. Oh my God, Yazid, poor Yazid. Okay. But there were great scenes where the fighting part, where the showdown, right, the epic showdown.
Yeah.
I felt that was great. Again, it has nothing to do with the hospital scene, so you don't cut to something that has no connection. Like.
There was a really nice poltergeist scene which I kind of enjoyed. And it sort of went a bit overboard, when you think like, is there anything in this house that the ghost will not move? Because there was quite a lot of stuff moving that you don't expect. But that was quite entertaining. I enjoyed that. I must say, I laughed a lot during the film, which I suspect was very disrespectful of me. But not as disrespectful as Eugene's suggestion of getting drunk watching a film about Islam. So yeah.
Oh yeah, very haram. Okay, I take
very
that back. Don't drink.
Drink tea. Do shots of tea.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. Speaking of the religious aspect, right? So I mean, it's an exorcism film at the end of the day, right? Yeah. So clearly there has to be a religious basis to it, from which the other power must come, right? So in the Munafik vein, right, this film is very much about the power of the Quran and the power of belief. And in fact, just to share with everyone a little bit of trivia, right? So the full title of the film, right, that I mentioned earlier, right, is Musyrik Api Neraka Nerantimu, which translates as Idolaters, the fires of hell await you. Okay, so you can guess from there that it's a warning. All right, for certain behaviors, right? And the film does play out in that way, which I don't think is a bad idea for a film.
No.
Because I mean, many of the Catholic films, the Catholic/exorcism films, also have the same basis, right? But then it takes better writing to go beyond the preaching and make it compelling in a human way, right? And we've all seen good examples of that. Munafik was a good example. It was very religiously strong, but at the same time also just really strong as a film. So I guess that's why it continues to be the bar lah.
Yeah.
So
I would say that the twist, the plot twist, or the revelation, was not too bad. Not too bad. I felt it was nice without spoiling it for you guys. He got it coming.
Yeah, he got it coming.
Yeah.
He got it coming in a way that, as I was just sharing with Eugene just now, he got it coming in a way that would happen in a Buddhist film, because it's like karma coming back to bite you in the ass, and unfortunately, no salvation for him.
No salvation.
No salvation for anyone, in fact, So what would you say? Should we spend our time on watching this, Eugene?
I would definitely recommend you guys to go watch it. It's not going to be a priority, but do watch it because it's a very straightforward movie. You get your horror kicks out of it. There were interesting scenes. If you're new to horror, it's great. Things flying, chasing after a dead girl, burying you have all that inside. Just
burying, digging up again,
and then try to light it, but then it starts to rain. I don't know what the scene was for anyway.
That's
so
fantastic.
So
there's a lot of good stuff, lots of tropes in there. Yeah, and I agree with Eugene. I think if you're new to horror, this is a good film to watch. If you're new to Malaysian horror, if you don't remember having watched any Malaysian horror films, except the old black and white ones, then watch this, right? Because it's a good introduction. If you've never watched Munafik, go watch this first. Then you'll be very happy when you watch Munafik.
I will give it a 2.5 upon 5.
Wow.
2.5 beanies upon 5 beanies for this movie. Yeah.
Not bad. Passing grade. Okay. Yeah. I can only give it a 2, unfortunately, because I have a very high standard for exorcism films. I feel that if you're going to tackle, sort of true evil and the power of good, then the burden is even greater, because it's a very important story. You're talking about faith, and devotion and salvation. So I demand a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, when you try to tackle these topics, So yeah, for me, only 2. But still, watch it if you are new to Malaysian horror. It's a good intro.
Yeah.
And you can remember everyone's name.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 10:30, so we need to speed up a little bit more on the rest.
Okay, come.
We might go above. We probably go above 11. We cannot review next 3 movies in half an hour.
GM Squared usually does. Yeah.
Next one we have. Let me see, what is this?
Okay, so this we jump to Indonesia. All right, this film, the title is much easier to remember. It's called Ivanna with a double N, Ivanna, right? And it directed by Kimo Stambol, right? Which is a Dutch name, and there are very strong Dutch elements in the film, right? So it's Dutch Indonesia lah, right? Let's take a look.
Ivanna Hampelot.
Ada sumur seram dekat di belakang.
Kalau lagi lebaran, emang sebagian banyak yang pulang.
Wait, I go washroom. I'll be back.
Sini aman.
Why don't you, Jon?
Kamu buta.
Masih bisa lihat, tapi nggak sejelas orang lain nih. Semenjak mata Ambar dioperasi, Ambar jadi sensitif. Masa sih? Sama hal-hal yang orang biasa nggak bisa lihat. Kamu siapa?
Still so fresh in my head, man, bro.
Yeah. This was yesterday's film, right? Our Monday night cheap ticket film.
Pause at some nice place so we can talk about it. Okay, go ahead.
So, okay, I mean, from the trailer alone, a very long but a very, very action-packed trailer. Quite exciting, right? Quite exciting, and I must say that the film had a lot going for it. It was full of history, full of secrets, which I enjoy, right? I think my favorite kind of horror films are films where the haunting hides a dark mystery, right? And the mystery has to be solved. And you're trapped here until you solve it and figure out what to do, right?
Yeah.
Many of our favorites, even Ringu, right? Sadako was all a mystery, right? It's about finding where something's buried, reuniting this with that, finding the cursed object. I think that's the magic that keeps a horror film going, right? So that it's not just screaming and running, but you're also tackling a problem, which is very exciting. So this one had lots of history, right? Because it's about the Japanese occupation and a betrayal in a Dutch family, and then suddenly that secret is buried because you don't know how it resolved, and only in bits and pieces through the film you start to realize, oh, that's how it happened, that's what's happening. So that's kind of nice. Even when you start meeting the ghost, you still don't really know what's behind the ghost, who's she angry at, what's she after. And it takes a while for that to build up. Of course, we all know she has no head because that's in the poster.
Yeah.
Right? So that was for me a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's going to lose their head? Oh, no one's lost their head yet. So it sort of sets up an artificial focus, right?
Yeah.
But I guess that's unavoidable. I don't know. Eugene and I watched this together, but we were at opposite ends of a group, right? All of our wonderful GM friends were in between.
We were
with
flanking everyone.
Yeah. Because if Eugene and I sit together, we will just disrupt everyone else in the theater. We have been scolded before, remember, Eugene?
It wasn't us. I was very quiet in the show. It wasn't me. It was Herman and Shimin and everyone.
Okay.
That wasn't us.
It's the GM problem.
Yeah,
we do that. So what did you think? Eugene?
Okay, there have been a lot of Indonesian film in this first half of the year, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Ivanna, in my books, is the best Indonesian film that we have this year. And I dare say that I think in our GM review this year, we gave Scream a 5. And I think this show is very much a 5 for me, or 4.5, a very high number for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I will justify why I said that, right?
Okay, please share. Yes.
Indonesian horror, always very slow. Very Cinderella, slow burn.
Yes. Yeah.
This one did not have that. This one had a lot of punch. And I felt that they had many different layers of emotions and energy within a scene. Like they were not there to scare you for the sake of scaring you, or create a slapstick comedy moment just to get a cheap laugh out of that. They had a family situation, and with the dialogue, with your prior knowledge of the scene that came before, you empathize why the characters say what they did. You also know why that was funny, because you are omnipresent. You know what's going to happen. And then there were times where there were scenarios in the show where you will go, no, don't go out. Your typical horror. You hear a noise, please don't go and find. I was telling when we were sitting outside the movie after that, I said, if it was me in the house, there would not be movie. First 10 minutes, I found the headless thing. I'm burning it.
Yeah.
But yet this family seemed to feel that, no, you can just leave it around. In the living room, sure, just leave it there, it's fine.
Right in the middle of the corridor, blocking everyone's way.
Seat,
just leave it there. Just leave it there.
And also there were moments where I found myself, why I said I found this to be a 4.5 is, there were moments in the show, I knew a scare was going to come. I just didn't know when and how. But I was like, go, run. And then I see this headless thing, and I see the policeman, and I found myself laughing. I'm not sure I'm laughing because I'm scared. I'm laughing because it's funny, but I was laughing. And then the horror happened, and then I reel and I scream, and then I go back to, like there was a moment of, but I'm still very cautious about it. So to get me into that spot for a horror film, very, very hard. And this show did it for me. So I'm giving it a 4.5.
we did say yesterday after watching it that it was very much like a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's got you screaming and laughing, and then you're sort of anxious, but you're also very thrilled.
Yeah.
I will agree with a 4.5 in terms of thrill. Okay, it is a very thrilling and enjoyable film. Go and watch it with a bunch of friends who are likely to scream a lot, and it is going to be a noisy film.
Yeah.
Okay,
The guys behind the whole row behind, we were noisy in the
we
cinema.
were. And we were like kind of sideways responding to each other's comments because we could hear what the row behind was saying, and we were at points we were agreeing, on our advice to the people on screen, So it's the kind of film you get very excited about, also please bring your family. I think your grandma will love it. I tell you.
Yeah, speaking of family, the other Indonesian film as the one that we will like. Okay, someone mentioned. I think Cindy, was it? We have Indonesian film that always focuses on family, like grandma, father, mother, daughter, son, right?
Yeah.
With Ivanna, you actually care for the family.
Yes.
I cared more for the family than in, say, like Telur, for example, or Maghreb. Right? Or really, I don't care if you live or die, but for this family, you want them to get through it. And in true Game of Thrones fashion, not everyone does.
The body count in this one is remarkably high. Okay, remarkably high, which you can sort of guess from the sheer number of characters that I introduced in the first 10 minutes. You kind of go like, okay, there are a lot of people here. I assume all of them are gonna die.
There's a bit of the Sleepy Hollow vibe, don't you think?
in the headless way, yes. Yeah. I mean, okay, I must say that, for those of you familiar with Indonesian films, right, this is a strategy of theirs, right? In order to get you to care about the characters, right, to set up a sort of situation in which the characters evoke at least sympathy, if not pity, right? It's very often, I've mentioned this before in previous seasons, it's very often an orphanage. In this case, instead of an orphanage full of kids who clearly have had a hard time and deserve protection and do not deserve to be haunted, now you have a retirement home with old folks who also do not deserve to be haunted because they've had a long and hard life. And not only that, they have been abandoned by their families in the middle of fasting month, right? So they're not having the best time. All of their friends in the retirement home have gone home to visit. So these are the discarded old folks. What a powerful place to start a movie.
And the setting is so very nice. Very beautiful setting.
Beautiful. Indonesian films always, the setting is always a major star because the houses are huge and spooky and all of them cannot afford enough lights. So the house is just full of darkness. Full of darkness, But okay, so yes, 4.5 from me in terms of thrills. Okay, the experience of watching it is damn shock. But strictly as a film, and compared to many other very good Indonesian films, many of which are being mentioned in the group now, people are talking about Danur and Susanna and many others in the past few years, right? Yeah. I must say this one doesn't quite reach the bar. Okay, I think it has all the right formulas. Yeah. Right, because it is very formulaic. It presses all the right buttons, and having a very unique ghost in the headless ghost is a big selling point. Okay, it's a big selling point. But the writing is not as good. The characters are not as powerful. And the play, it doesn't play out as well. So I'll give you a simple example. Okay. Right? So there was a very interesting tension developing between, not yet spoiler, just a teaser, right? Between the two servants who look after the old folks, who seem to be a couple, right? Sort of a couple, but she's a little bit cold. And she's certainly not happy that his childhood friend, who's very handsome, very sexy, has turned up to stay, and he's giving her all the attention. There's this lovely triangle starting to form. And you don't know who's going to sabotage who or what's going to happen. And then nothing happens at all. Because once the headless ghost appears, nobody cares.
Yeah, they got
and I'm
bigger
like,
problems.
and I'm like, then why did you waste half an hour setting that up? And never mind if you're just saying, oh, we want to deepen the characters, create some sympathy. Okay, that's a good enough reason. Yeah. But when it matters, when it finally matters, okay, and this is the spoiler part, when it finally matters, and her boyfriend is having his head ripped off in front of her, she has no expression, no reaction, does not even try to help him.
No, she was
just
scared. She was
Yeah,
paralyzed
she
by
just-
fear.
No, she was screaming like a fool. That was not fear. That was just screaming at a stranger. You know, that was not reacting to your loved one. And he's not dead yet. At any moment, you could save him. Okay? You could. All right? So, I mean, I can understand if this was a casual relationship. You would not overcome that moment of fear because you have no reason to. But why all that setup if it doesn't pay off when it's supposed to?
Yeah.
Right? You know, and I was watching because I saw that she was the nearest to him and I thought, oh, this is gonna get good.
Yeah, she would, be heroic about it.
Or she will let him die. Either one is exciting. Either one is good, but neither is weak.
Yeah.
You know, because you already set up for it.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel that maybe somewhere along the way, perhaps all the good things they put in at the beginning turned out to be too many things. So they just had to focus on the headless thing, right? It got messier as it went along, I must say, right? But the good things are, okay, so the humor is wonderful, all right? I love it when they manage to blend humor and horror at the same time in a way that almost reminded me of some of the best Hong Kong horror moments.
Yes.
Where you're sort of screaming and laughing at the same time. Right? So there was some of that there going on here. Because some of the kills are quite ridiculous and quite preposterous, but at the same time very violent. You know, so your laughter is tainted with fear, right? And of course the character of the policeman is always a wonderful foil, right? You know, so wonderfully written. Eugene loves the policeman so much. Right? You know, he is wonderful. From the moment he walks in, you know he's going to bring you joy. He's going to bring you joy.
You said Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong horror. So this guy comes in with a sunglass, mustache in the rain, walks in like, condolences on the death. Heart attack or sickness. Then there's a moment of awkward pause for everyone. It's like, next scene, he goes into the toilet. That was good.
Yeah. You know, I mean, so you can see that there is a very wonderful sense of humor behind the filmmaking. Yeah. This is deliberate. All of this is deliberate, right? So very well done on that. You know, KK Heng just pointed out that the trailer does not give any sense of levity. Yeah. You know, I guess they decided better sell the horror first, lah.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise audiences get confused.
Like I said, the horror is really the humor is not designed. It's we as audience find it funny, but it was not designed to be. It was not slapstick. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
No, I agree that it was not slapstick, but it was designed though. Clearly, it was designed. There was no way to cast that policeman without deliberately wanting him to be funny. You know, but it was a controlled kind of humor. That's the thing, right? You know, and the reason I can confidently say that is because when they were scary, they were able to really deliver some good scares. Ooh. My favorite scares are when there's a statue in the film, okay? When the statue is not a statue, those brief moments are terrifying. Are you going to show us one?
Yeah.
All right.
I tried to sign. Yeah, go on talking.
Right, yeah. So, and they were very few and far between, those, but they were truly, you know, Conjuring level.
Yeah, Conjuring level, yes.
Right? Conjuring level scares, you know, or even, what was that? Not Conjuring, but the other James Wan series. Insidious. Right? Insidious has some really nice moments.
You know the nun, where the nun runs out to you?
Yeah, exactly, right? Or you know, those moments, right? Clearly the director here knew how to work the camera and work the framing and work that moment. So they were very satisfying. I just leapt out of my seat quite a few times, you know? And so you sort of genuinely fear this headless thing that at the same time is making you laugh a lot. Yeah. You know, so I think it's very rare to find that combination of emotions nowadays.
I felt that
you know?
the character that they made her blind, I guess there was for a reason, but the reason wasn't strong because after the first half of the show...
Look at that frame.
After the first half of the show, her blindness just didn't matter anymore. She was just running around falling and, you know, it did not impair her in any way.
It was a little too much like The Eye, you know, as a character choice.
Yeah.
You know, for me to really... And it didn't pay off in any unique way. Yeah. So I just felt like it was too tempting not to borrow an idea.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that she couldn't see didn't matter, and the fact that later she could see makes it irrelevant. So I guess she didn't have to be blind in the first place. Yeah, and it was not even blindness, it was from an operation. So that's we're even closer and closer to the eye now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So a little bit of a gimmick. But to be fair, gimmicks are important because it's the gimmick that gets your film made. Right? When you are at the early stages of pitching a film, you don't have all the subtlety and the details and all that. It's the few gimmicks you can name that get you investment. So you have to be able to say, oh, it's got elements of, then name a few films, right? So you kind of do have to play this game lah.
They were very smart in using the audio as well. The repeat audio, the tracks. This is what we talk about in Ghost-Mortem every time, where there is a certain signature sound that gets you going. Oh shit, something's coming, and this movie does that very well.
And because it's coming from a gramophone, so it already has that snap and crackle. Yeah, so the feeling is, it's very Eugene. It's very Eugene. So Ivan, thanks for the reminder. Ivan is reminding everyone, okay? And that's kind of why we were so excited because we were not supposed to do GM Squared tonight. We had a film lined up for you and everything. But we thought it was a great opportunity because all 4 films have just started playing in the cinemas. So we thought if we can review them early, you guys can all go and support because post-COVID, it's very difficult, okay, to keep the film industry going. Right? Cinemas are struggling like crazy. So please go and support. Go on a weekday, save some money if you want. Weekends are a little bit more expensive, but please support, okay? Please support our film industry or else we have nothing to review.
Speaking of supporting the film industry, Shaw, our supporting partners for Ghost-Mortem, is giving us 40 tickets to give away.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
wow.
They're giving us more and more. I think they kind of like what we're doing with the cinema industry. And trying to, I mean, we're such great fans of the show, and I think Shaw, they just says, come over to our site and watch it. So it's very nice. But anyway, we're 10:50 right now. Let's take a look at the next one that is showing in the cinemas. It's called Black Phone, shall we?
The Black Phone. The Black Phone. And this one is very, very Hollywood, so you all have seen the trailer, I'm sure.
Okay, where are we with this?
So we were just commenting on our theory already being proven right? Here you have a film that confidently shows you long scenes in the trailer, right? Every moment was a good 10, 15 seconds long, and just cutting before the exciting moment, right? But they were confident that there was suspense in the scenes, that the characters were interesting enough, that the conversation, the dialogue would be interesting to hear. No need to cheat by showing you 35 scenes, just show you 10, So a very confident trailer, I must say, right? Immediately, some folks in the group have been saying very Stranger Things, very It, right? And I think, I think those tropes are very much present, right? The yellow raincoat, the cycling, the group of 5 children, it's very familiar, right? It's a very 80s film. It's set in 1993, but it's got a lovely age to it. Even the color and the grading of it is meant to look familiar. I think that's a very conscious choice, to appeal to something which has become popular, right? Which is that time period, has become very in right now.
So Sin is saying this film interests me. John, why don't you take it away and let us know what is your take on this film?
So there are many, many good things. As you can gather from the trailer, it's about a kidnapper, right? Who has been taking children using black balloons as a decoy. And then the latest kid to be taken is Finn. And he discovers that this black phone that's supposed to be disconnected in his cell can ring, right? And through it, as you can see, the spirits of other victims can talk to him. It's a very unique and original story. It's based on a short story by Joe Hill, but it's such a wonderful thing to see that developed into a full film because it's got so much potential, right? You've got all these different characters to meet, and who doesn't like a film where multiple ghosts gang up together, right? And take revenge, right? And sort of, fight for each other. It's a wonderful film. It's a combination of modern horror with a feel-good teenage coming of age, like together with your friends, you can see it through kind of film. right? So it's
Stand
got
By
positive.
Me, it has
It's
that kind of
very Stand By Me. It's Stand By Me meets Sinister, who this director also made, right? So you know that here's a director who can deliver horror, because Sinister is one of the most disturbing, horror films I've seen in a long time and continues to disturb me to this day. Yet this film has a brightness and a positivity to it, that shows a whole other side to his talent, right? So I feel that it's a nice balance between the two. If you're looking for pure horror, then this one's not enough. But if you're looking for a standard Hollywood moment, this one will make you scream too much. But I think coming together, it's very, very fascinating. So to me, it's a little bit genre bending. I don't know where to place it, right? I would say, it's positive enough to be not a horror film at all.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, clearly it's quite dark and quite grim, and more supernatural than a crime thriller needs to be, right? Yet not a single one of those ghosts is half as scary as Ivanna, so it's not really horror. Right, it's pleasant ghosts, but it's excellent filmmaking. It's excellent writing. The writing is fantastic. You can tell from the subtleties in the storytelling. So, for example, all of these ghosts that are trapped, right? Maybe here's a slight spoiler. Okay, so all the ghosts who ring him up, all of them have forgotten their names. They mentioned that in the trailer, right? But Finn knows them because he's been following their cases. And that's such a wonderful idea, that here's a guy who knows all your names. Here's a bunch of ghosts who don't remember. The amount of conversation that can happen is exciting. Yet, there's no time. They only have a few precious moments to give him a clue to help him save his life, And so there's so much psychological tension. And then some of the ghosts want to know. Some of the ghosts don't want to know, and yet they don't waste time delving into it. They just give you a hint of what is being felt. So the writing is very, very economical, and leaves you wondering, like, how come he asked that question that way? How come he doesn't want to know the answer? What's going on? And then, but the action keeps moving and you don't have a chance to answer questions. So you get more and more involved and more sucked in, which I feel is very, very, very good writing, and I personally really like how the plot comes together. I was frustrated at first at each time that the clues that he was given fail, but then in the end the payoff is one of the best movie payoffs I've seen in a long time, because everything that failed was actually part of something bigger, and you're like, yes. And I totally did not see that coming. Right? I totally did not see that coming. Very satisfying. So even as a puzzle solver, crime thriller person, very fulfilling. So it ticks so many different boxes for me. But what I love is I didn't expect any of those boxes to be ticked. So I learned about what the film was trying to be, and then the film kicked.
What happened to you, John? You froze. John froze. Oh, good Lord. Okay, John, you try to come back. We'll try to have you back. Okay, so while John is obviously a fanboy of the show, okay, you know what? I think his battery ran out. He didn't have that problem with his phone. I found Black Phone to be a letdown. Hey, there you are. Are you back? Okay. You're black. Okay, hold on. Let me try to get you in again. There we go.
Okay.
You're back.
Yeah, that was very spooky. Yeah, everything just went black. So I'm clearly a fan of this film. Eugene, on the other hand,
so for the very same things that you say you like about how you don't get answers, I found that to be very irritating as an audience. I'm like, you don't give me anything to work on. You have this guy who has a mask. Obviously, you can see from the trailer, very scary, and you don't give me anything to work with. You don't even unveil anything to the very end. Even then, there was nothing. And so I say yes. If it was a crime thriller, this is great. Obviously, this guy's an abuser. He says things like, "Oh, you made me do this," and then there were other kids that went missing. So you get all this from the trailer. But where the part where it made this a horror film that got into Ghost-Mortem was there were spirits.
Yeah.
And the spirits irritated the hell out of me. It's like, you want to help lah, don't help. Like what are you? What you just wasted my time. I felt very irritated. But at the end, yes, there were moments where there was payoff, and I was like rooting for some of the goals, and the part where they had a cut away to show a bit of background. Those I enjoyed tremendously. But I was still waiting for this character that's on the poster, this main guy. The unveiling. What is his reason? Why is he doing all this? But no. And then at the very end, it's like, like that only. I did not get a kick out of it. Yeah.
I mean, I must say that, before I move on, must remember that there's another supernatural threat. There are two supernatural threats in this film. One is the ghosts in the basement, and the other one is the sister, who is, her dreams are psychic, right? And she can see things. So between these two is the solution. I can understand totally why Eugene feels frustrated. I think the only difference is that, for me, that wasn't frustration. That was exciting, right? Okay. To enter into a standard pseudo real crime, let's figure out who the killer is, kind of procedural thing. And then to realize that that's not the focus, and that this film isn't interested in figuring out who the killer is and why he's killing them. We don't even learn what he does to them. By the end of the film, you still don't know how he kills them. How does he abuse them? The dialogue from the ghost makes it sound really horrific, and yet you are never shown any sign of how the abuse really goes. And so you don't. Exactly what Eugene wants is exactly what the film doesn't want to give you. And because it doesn't give you that, it tells you it's not going to give you, because it keeps hinting and not delivering. Then you have to stop asking. So that's the difference. Right? I stopped asking and I said, okay, take me wherever this weird film wants to go. I think Eugene kept asking. Yeah. And then it became frustrating. Correct. I agree. So it's really about, I guess, when the path suddenly turns, are you ready to go? Or do you still feel this needs to, So I think expectation plays a big part in a film like this. Same for the horror, right? The ghosts are frustrating to Eugene because they are lousy hauntings, very incomplete, fragmentary hauntings. In fact, the ghosts don't even get to come back. They appear once and then they disappear, right? And that's annoying. Since when is a haunting one-off? But that's what this story needs, right? So it's a question of, are you willing to surrender, I guess, right? So for me, I was quite happy to. Maybe because we watched this together after watching Musyrik. So I was ready to go any damn where. It's like after Musyrik, anything goes. Okay. Anything goes. So how many points for this for you? Sorry? How many points? Wow. I would say 4. 4 beanies out of 5. 4 out of 5, not in any particular genre, but because it crosses genres. I see. Okay. Yeah, for that reason, I give it a 4. I can bring my non-horror friends to watch, and they'll probably enjoy. And that's quite rare. How many would you give? Oh dear.
I'm giving it a 2.5, the same as I gave Musyrik. Like, if I see Musyrik and Black Phone, I will toss a coin and I will walk out of the cinema having that same level of entertainment.
Oh dear.
And frustration as well. Yeah. Again, I watch Black Phone for the suspense.
So please, everyone, go and watch and discover it for yourself, okay, and decide whether you are in Eugene's camp or my camp, okay, right? I'm looking to see whether any of those who watched with us have shared their point of view.
5.
Okay. I definitely remember Kathy and Shimin quite liking it, right? And Lynn also liked it. So, but yeah. I would say watch it with as few expectations as possible. And then give it a chance. Okay. Give it a chance. Give it a chance to work itself out.
Okay, let's take a look at our final, because it's 11:10.
Okay.
We try to finish by 11:30, guys.
So this is Netflix.
So this on Netflix, Incantation. This has been
by Kevin Ko.
Everyone's talking about Incantation. Let's take a look at the let us know in the comment section, where do you stand on this show?
I think the most number of people would have watched this, right? Because there was lots of chat about it. So yeah, if you have watched it, please let us know. Meanwhile, we shall start with Eugene, because I think you loved it a lot.
I had some mixed feelings about that. Right?
Okay.
I felt it was very slow burn, but typical of Netflix style, you have a very slow start. But the very end, if you remove all the expectation about how idiotic some of the characters are and the stupid things they do, I felt that overall, as how the movie plays out, it borrows a lot of the success formula of shows that came before it, right? I know people, if you read the reviews, people say like The Ring, for example. And a friend of mine says, Eugene, have you caught Incantation? I said, yes. Hey, how can they do this? You know, they put curse in the show. Hey, then we all watch that. How are we? After the show I watched, I feel very itchy leh. So I think in that aspect, right, in the horror aspects of creating a secondary meta follow through, people are talking about it. So in that sense, there is a success cult classic. On its own, there were many areas that did not live up to the hype and the horror. I would have done it very differently. But the lore was beautiful. I enjoyed the lore.
Yes, I love the lore.
I googled the lore. In fact, it's not true. That it didn't exist. The wall, the door behind the wall, I thought it's just going to be, they talk about the place you should not go and they never go in. No, they did. And it was horrific.
Yes.
There were some Mexican law where there were caves and people put dating inside and you go in, you never come out because those were hellholes. So this had very much all the success formula of laws that came before it, and they didn't hide it; they show it to you. I would give this a 3.5. 3.5, not because it was a great movie at individual scenes, but the overall packaging of it and how successful they are. I give it a 3.5.
I think the lore is the most attractive thing about this film. For I think both as a film goer who loves a good film with a good backstory, but also as a GMSC person who's fascinated with the telling and the preserving of stories. The idea of this dark quasi-Buddhist cult, right, worshipping a secret forbidden god, it's amazing, right? Even the imagery of all these Buddhas facing the wall is like so creepy. It just gets under your skin in a way that perhaps only us Asians might feel.
Yes.
Because we know that there is an innate power to these things. You don't fool around with this. And then when you see it, you're like, oh, that's dangerous. I wouldn't even want to be on that set. You start thinking of all the pantang and all, so we are fundamentally superstitious, right? At some level. So this film really gets to you in those ways. For me, where it lets me down is as a film. So as a lore, as a potential story, as a secret that has been dug up, it's really exciting. And then as a film made around it, I'm like, you just borrowed some really familiar things, and it's a curse that the Japanese have been doing since the 80s. There's a good film called Noroi, The Curse, which is one of the earliest Japanese curse films, which is way creepier than this and has already done that all, and how it manipulates you and all that. You're like, I've been there, done that. So I felt that, the potential is not delivered. But the fact that it's there is a good start. I don't think the acting lived up to it either. Some people really liked the lead actress's performance. I felt that she didn't have enough scope to pull off such a heavy journey, and it mostly is her. So I don't feel, and talking about the meta, right? So I mean, you saw in that film that she speaks directly to the viewer. Right? And part of the meta is in her asking you to chant with her. I don't think she made me want to do anything for her. So I'm like, I see the gimmick, but the gimmick didn't work because the person delivering it didn't convince me. So I'm like, Yeah, so I felt they wanted to do a lot and they could have done a lot, but I think at some point, at the last mile, it didn't happen, And on top of that, I was severely pissed off by one of those very stupid characters to an extent that surprised me. I hated the character so much that it pissed me off.
Wow.
Because I just thought that kind of character should not be in a film. It is impractical that someone would behave like that. And it kind of spoils. It's like the one person at the party that everyone just wants to kick out. It's like, just don't be here. It ruined it for me because it was. So there's always someone in the ghost hunting team who is a bit rash and who is a bit, too greedy for a sensational shot and pushes the boundaries and then gets everyone in trouble. I understand. That's necessary. But when the person is mindlessly, stupidly breaking idols and removing talismans and, opening every door without thinking, and this is his own family's secret that has been hidden for generations, I'm like, no, now you're just being convenient because the film needs someone to do these things. And you are that someone and you're not believable, You need to find a better way to get in trouble than just have one idiot who's going to barge around doing all the forbidden things conveniently. That was lazy and annoying, And I don't mind if the filmmakers hear this, but yeah, I wish you had found a better way to unleash the curse than through an idiot, an annoying multiple idiot.
That part I was when I see
as a ghost hunter yourself.
when I look at all these movies like Gonjam Asylum and all that, I always feel very much for the investigator because it's very accessible to me. I'm living vicariously through you.
Yeah.
I see these three of them go in and do all this like you have no shame. Like, come on, just it was very cringy for me, And I wish the characters would die.
But you still believe them as characters. I didn't. That's the point. The point is that I couldn't believe that as a character. I just saw it as the writers getting the curse as quickly as possible.
But there are people who behave like this. So
they wouldn't be the ones on a YouTube channel.
They want the views. I tell you this, the influencer community and the ghost hunting community, they would do anything just for views. And
okay, that I don't buy because that was not framed. He was not written that way.
Yeah.
If it was, we've seen those. I mean, if you remember, Hillstatten, the German asylum movie,
yes,
right? That had a whole bunch of vain, selfish, annoying influences in a haunted house, but they were all convincingly written.
Yeah.
This one was lazily written.
If the point, I'm like, why are you angry with what?
What mission are you on?
Yeah.
You who came with no particular purpose, and we didn't even set him up. He was the character with the least setup.
Correct. Then suddenly someone you got angry and then you...
Yeah. To me, that's just lazy writing. It's just someone had to do it. She won't do it. The boyfriend won't do it. And the whole village respects the shrine.
Idiot and then go ahead.
Yeah. Otherwise, the movie has to stop because there will be no curse.
Yeah.
So you've made a curse so difficult to unleash, and then you had to create a preposterous character to unleash it. Maybe the curse itself should have been a bit easier. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe a cat could have knocked something over and ta-da, curse.
This is unleashing like the demon in the world kind of thing.
But then you need a idiot demon YouTuber to do it. Yeah. I still feel it's a little bit excessive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it can be done. Every other curse has been unleashed without annoying me. So, I think I felt that there was a bit of an imbalance in this film, but still utterly enjoyable.
Okay,
enjoyable
one question from KK Hing is the adoption center guy.
Yeah.
Was he ever in love with the lead actress?
No.
I don't think so.
I think not. Yeah. I think not. He was in love with being a father.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And he empathized with her about her being a protective mother over the daughter, and he also had a bond with that girl because he felt like a father. So that was all he was doing. There was no love interest there.
But he was a good guy, like fundamentally a decent guy who, even after helping her, continued to investigate and got himself in trouble for it. So I think that was a nicely written character, nicely written, unlike the idiot. So I would have called this film The Idiot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't quite like the characters in the show, to be honest. They're very long. Okay, so I think some of you pointed out, Connie probably pointed out, when the mother was with the camera, it gets very irritating. Your daughter's in trouble and you're still filming. Like, any decent parents will put the camera away and
I think
go
the
handle
found
stuff.
footage thing also became a burden after a while because not all the scenes could be justified.
Yes.
That they were somehow filmed by someone in a moment of great panic, you know. Yeah. Thanks, Connie, for pointing that out. Some of the lines are unrealistic.
Mark
She
Shripo
says.
say it's more annoying than scary. Sin said it's like triggering something for the sake of triggering something.
Yes, that's it, right? Because you know this film only exists because the trigger is there. You know, so shamelessly go and trigger lah.
Yeah.
You know, and I think for me, that kind of you want the curse to be unleashed because you were chasing something else, right? And so that is the misery of fate. You know, that you think this is my destiny. I'm going to go for this destiny, and unfortunately, your destiny crosses a line, and everyone else gonna. But could you have not gone? No, it was your destiny. You know, but in this case. Just don't be an idiot.
Correct. You could have avoided it. Then everyone would be like, you know, nothing. You know, no one gets blamed. No one's died. But this one is people didn't lock you away. Tell you don't go and do something stupid.
There was no compulsion, right? No compulsion. And when there's no compulsion, then it's just a bit trivial to me.
Like already breaking into people's ancestral place and kicking down doors. Really, is too much really for Asian perspective, right? You know, this is 没家伙 really 没多没水, right?
So someone mentioned, and this was a comparison I've heard a lot, right? Saying that it's not as good as The Medium.
Medium
right?
is better. Medium
that one is very hard to compare, okay?
This to Medium, no, Medium is
because but the reason I bring it up now is because we're just talking about compulsion, right? What makes The Medium so powerful is that every character is driven by compulsion. None of them could act otherwise. They must do what they did because that is their nature. And that's why the film feels so, it's like, there's no way off this path of doom and destruction, and it's frustrating. And that's the horror of it. You know, no one was being an idiot. So had a lot of potential though. Maybe someone needs to do a series about it with totally different characters, because after all, the curse is still there. So anyone can continue.
There's a sequel from what I'm reading on the YouTube.
Oh dear. Okay, please have a new cast. And I'll be quite happy. But I'm very interested to find out the further history of this law, right? So a prequel would be very interesting. And how the village became what it became.
Yeah, who's the first one who found this? And then
Correct,
how did they contain this curse?
Right. Or who brought it to Taiwan, in the first place, right? Because it must have traveled. So there's a lot. The law is just juicy, very juicy. So but it's the biggest of the films in terms of what background it offers, right? Of all the films that we've talked about today, this one has a whole world behind it, which is very nice. The cast all dead. No, KK is asked. No, the daughter's alive.
Also died, right?
The daughter's alive.
Daughter,
Yeah, I figured she'll be in the sequel. Yeah. The found footage was badly coerced. Yeah, kind of. Oh well. Okay.
All right.
So there we are. Wow, quite controversial, the films.
Yeah.
No one absolute sort of winner.
God, Ivanna.
Okay
Ivanna is a clear winner for me.
I think anything with no hate, just go lah.
So I think overall, I would say the movies that we have today, you can go watch it. You should. I feel that there's a lot of payout, and you get your money's worth.
They're entertaining. They're definitely entertaining, and go in a group so you can chat about it afterwards.
If you don't have anyone to go with, and you're looking for a group to go watch movie with, hey, get in touch with us. My number is 94594931 Supernatural Confessions. Say you want to join us for a movie night, and I will add you to our Supernatural Confessions Ghost-Mortem WhatsApp group where we organize movies. We only go on Monday nights because tickets are cheap, and so we can review it on Tuesday.
Usually we go Monday nights, but sometimes when there's too many in the cinema, then we have no choice. But it doesn't mean that you must go with the official outing, because lots of people can't make it, right? But you're still in the group. So find out who else hasn't gone and make your own plans. That's what the chat group is for. So don't have to just watch with me or Eugene. Watch among yourselves with fellow GMers. That's fun too.
I'm wondering, right?
Yeah.
It'd be quite cool, like if any of you guys found friends through Ghost-Mortem. I would like to know. Like usually you watch horror movies alone, but because of Ghost-Mortem, you found someone to go watch movie with. Let us know whether that even, I think that could be a possibility where people start finding buddies to go movie with. Hopefully
that would be nice.
That works out for you guys. It'd be nice.
So here we are, matchmaking horror kakis. Okay.
Okay, it's 11:26. We've come to the end of today's show. Yeah, GM Squared is always a bit longer than usual.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be back with episode 8.
And next week is also about family. So it's a good segue. It's also about parents and children. So
and Jon and I we're designing something. So hopefully sometime after National Day there will be something for all of us to do something together. But we'll let you know this information out in the days to come.
Yeah. Thanks for all the comments, everyone. Lots of great stuff. Sorry if we didn't get to respond to all the comments, but I could see some conversations going on. That's great. That's why we're here, because there's a whole community of you sharing, helping us see different points of view. So yeah, keep it going. It's fantastic.
Yes. I know you guys are asking about Resident Evil and Stranger Things. Those are I have not watched Resident Evil, so I can't comment. But Stranger Things, there's no need for any dissection. What do you think? What points do you think I'm going to give? 1? No, it's going to be a 4 or 5. I mean, everyone loves it. It's great. It has all the right formulas. Go watch it.
I personally will find it hard to review something that is a season 4, because then you either review all 4 seasons, or you have to review it in a group that has already covered the first 3. So it's a little bit, for me, a bit late in the game. Yeah, but Resident Evil, maybe, who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take a look. But anyway, it's a few weeks before we get to do this again. So in the meantime, right, back to the season 5, okay? And also, we are halfway through season 5. So we will need panelists for the end of the season Ghost-Mortem report, right? Where we vote for our best and our favorite. So we need panelists to help review all the short films and to shortlist some nominees that everyone else can vote for. If you are keen, please let Eugene know, and we'll add you to our panelist group. Cool.
Okay, so with that, we'll say goodnight. My name is Eugene Tay.
I'm Jonathan Lim, and in the background, there's Ivan.
Yes, and I will see you guys next Tuesday on Ghost-Mortem. Good night.
Go watch movies. Go.
What did you find?
You're listening to Supernatural Confessions.